The Minnesota Transportation Act will mandate the state and state chartered banks enter into an agreement whereby the banks will invest in the needed public road and bridge projects approved by the legislature. And actually, the bill is designed so that those requests actually come from the people in the local cities, states, and townships. Also federal projects. The bank will buy the natural equity of the project, and the states will retain all the user rights. Now, that natural equity is a legal term I'm not going to get into right now. I got it with me. So then they receive something they can put on their books as an asset. The people will receive the actual built, completed road and maintain all the user's rights to it. Nobody will have any control except the people who want to use it, and the people who oversee the transportation sit and make sure it's up there. Here's how it works. A state chartered bank will pay for the natural equity by monetizing the bid value of the project. Say, for example, we want to go out and enlarge some interstate around here, and it costs $480 million to do it. And then, I don't know exactly how you do it in Arizona, but in Minnesota, what you do is you you get the project, you have an engineer draw it all up, exactly how wide it wants to be, how much load it has to carry, how deep the pack has to be, all these things. And they kind of figure out what it's going to cost, and then they put it out to bid to contractors. When the contractor bid and put that bid in, that's what they sign. They can sign an agreement, and that's what it's done. And then the contractor has to also put up a bond to make sure that that road is completed. Nothing would change here except the genesis of the money. Everything else will work exactly like it is now. The bank will do this by creating an asset monetization account and crediting the bid value of the project to the asset monetization account. So in other words, that's why I had that one chart up there, because when they get through, now they'll have an asset on both sides. There will be no liabilities whatsoever. They will create the money as an asset on their books to them, and they'll create the money as an asset the books of the state. When they get that money in their checking account, then they can go out and pay the contract according to the bid. And if the bid is $488 million, the bank will then debit that money electronically. They're not going to print any currency of any kind out of their asset and monetization account and credit to the state's transportation account in the same state bank. And then it shows you the form exactly how you do it. And again, see, now you don't see any liabilities here. Everything is assets. So now this money will represent the value of that road to be spent into circulation when the road is built, or has to be built. The money will then be electronically debited out of the state's transportation account and credited to the contractor's account in a state chartered bank according to the terms of the contract. So however the contract calls for them to be paid, so much for every mile they get created or built or whatever. That's how it works, and the money will be electronically transferred over. And it'll be the exact same money you use every day when you write a check or use a credit card, except it will represent the production that's done, not the debt you owe the banking system. Then that money will flow through the economy when the contractor will spend the money to complete the project and pay for the construction costs according to the terms of the contract. He's got to pay the road workers, he's got to buy his heavy equipment, he's got to buy the materials, and what I should have put in here, I'll hurry. What it should put, I put in here, they also have to buy the easement rights. The money will then flow into the Minnesota economy by when the people who get the money from them will go out and spend it to buy their basic needs, food, housing, transportation, and maybe pay taxes and loans. And then some of the benefits will be a much safer sounding banking system, a much, much better transportation system, and no debt and no tax. And according to the Minnesota Constitution, government is instituted for the security, benefit, and protection of the people, to whom all political power is inherent, together with the right to alter, modify, or perform government whenever required for the public good. And if it isn't the public good that we reform our money system and get out of this cotton-picking debt, and all money treated as a debt to somebody who doesn't have anything when it started, if that don't need reforming, nothing does. And I thank you. concept all the way through. I thank you so much.
Great, Byron. We're going to try to take time for questions once people. I want you to understand what Brian's talking about, Byron's talking about in context with our next speakers talk. It's a big nut we're trying to put our arms around here today. Huge nut we're trying to put our arms around. Because for all of us, we're wondering, what's going on? How come our country has so quickly gone out of control? How come there are so many moving parts that we didn't see? How is it that we wake up in January of 2000, and some of us, wake up in January of 2010, 2009, and wonder what the heck's going on? It's been building, it's been building, it's been building. And so Byron has presented to you something viable as a workable solution. When you see, he's not a conspiracy person, but it's really clear that you don't have to be a conspiracy person to recognize that the money system that's been created is like way out of control. Did you show that chart? I wasn't here. So it speaks for itself. Our next speaker is Joan Zion. And Joan has a wonderful credential list